Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Girls Who Like Hoops podcast. I'm Tori. I hope you guys are having a great week. First of all, like and subscribe. Get in the comments section. Share your opinions. Vote on the poll on Spotify if you're listening there. Follow me on whatever you're listening to this on to stay up to date on new episodes. Obviously, my social media is always linked down in the description. I'm always on here or on TikTok Live. These episodes, they come out weekly. That's all we really need to know. I'm going to let you know when weekly. This episode is going to be a little late, though, this week because, one, I went to go hang out with my friends the night I usually go to record, but also because I have this USB thing that converts to an iPhone, right? And I use it to get the video off the iPhone because it takes forever for iCloud to sync for me to put the video in a project from the computer or from an iPad or whatever, right? Okay. Anyways, and it's not working. So unless it magically works by the time I'm done with this episode is going to be up even later than I initially planned, which is okay actually because Unrivaled isn't even coming on until Sunday because we're in the playoffs and everything. And we're going to talk about that, of course. And actually, we're going to kick the episode off by talking about WNBA seedings, but also March Madness. Some people on TikTok Live, if you're not following me over there, feel free to do that. I'm always over there talking and yapping with Justice, and we talk about women's sports, college, all the things. Who we think is going to be picked in the WNBA draft, all those things. So go check that out if you're interested. But I was on there and they were like, you really need to lock in for March Madness. You've got to lock in. And so I was looking at the schedule before I started recording, and I think that I'm going to be able to watch most of the games or at least a lot of the games, but I'm not going to promise all of them, especially because the ones that happen Monday night are definitely not seeing me. If they're happening during the day, I will not be a part of it because I go to work at 3 p.m. and I work from 3 to 7:30, and then I still have to go home. So I'm not even going to be home to watch the last game of Unrivaled that Monday night at 7:30. But, fingers crossed. I'm still going to come here and talk about it, though. I'm going to rewatch it on HBO Max, which I really do appreciate HBO Max if you don't have it. I'm really appreciative of it because they make sure to have that game on there, at least for the next 24 hours. So I'm appreciative of that. So shout out to them. So getting into the WNBA, which we're starting off with, there is no trades going on, nothing crazy happening in the WNBA world anymore. For the most part, all of the trades and stuff that are really big have happened already. I think a point of conversation in the WNBA world, though, on Twitter and on TikTok, though, is Chennedy Carter and whether or not she's going to be picked up and signed somewhere. And I think kind of right now at this point, I think she has an opportunity to maybe get picked up on a hardship contract or maybe a training camp thing. But I don't really know because we're so late into the season's going to start soon. And if people were really interested in signing her, they would have already, which I think is unfortunate because I think she's a very talented player. But at the same time, there is there are a lot of conversations that come with Chennedy Carter as well. So even though last season, it doesn't seem to us she had this terrible season or anything or got into any outward external trouble. There is just still the reputation of how things went down in other places, and some people not really being willing to maybe kind of take her into their locker room and possibly potentially have that become a problem or something like that. So as of right now, obviously wish her the best. I think again she's super talented, and I think any team that would be willing to pick her up, she would be good. Again, it just does come down to what is the vibe going to be in the locker room? Is this a risk that we want to take? And a lot of people don't want to do that. A lot of front offices, a lot of coaches don't want to do that. And, it also gets into what was said on social media and things like that. So I think that if anything, teams are being a little bit more cautious about that. So unfortunately, I don't really know if we're going to be seeing Chennedy Carter playing in the WNBA as of right now. I think there's obviously still time for her to, grow and learn and maybe try to set a new kind of standard for herself. But as of right now, it's not giving that. I did think it'd be in my head. I'm kind of I wish a newer team that's kind of going to struggle for a couple of seasons will want to pick her up. but it's also like, do you want to build around that? And that's tough. So, again, I hope that she's able to find her way back into the WNBA, but as of right now, it's not really looking like she's going to be getting picked up anywhere. So, and most of the trades and stuff, like I said, are kind of over and happening. So we're kind of like looking at some like hard set teams right now. And it should be interesting. Again, I'm super excited for the WNBA season. I actually did like counted up all the games. I'm going to have like 299 games to watch. However, I'm pretty positive that I'm going to determine that I don't like a team's play style. Like last season, I hated watching the Connecticut Sun. Those would be the hardest games for me to watch, and I don't know why. I couldn't tell you why. Just bored, so I wouldn't. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Connecticut's gonna be on that list this year. I guess we're gonna see what other teams maybe I become disinterested in watching, but I will not be watching all 299 games, but I will be reporting on them, and I'm going to watch more than half of the games. So I'm always gonna have my thing going. So make sure if you want to know about the rundown of all the games, you don't feel like watching all of them, you don't have access to watching all of them, I will be doing it. So you don't have to worry about anything. All right, getting into the next topic, somebody on YouTube last week asked me what my WNBA seeding list kind of looks like where do I think each team is going to rank, like maybe like pre-playoffs or just like in general for most of the season. So I've done this on TikTok Live with Justice, but neither of us have that list. We low-key lost it. And so I went back, and because somebody asked me the question, I went ahead and kind of really sat with each team, like what the vibe is. And we're just going to list them. Okay, we're going to do our little way too early WNBA playoff seedings. We're going to get into that. And obviously, I'm going to have a little bit of commentary on each one. So first team off the bat, number one, I have to put the New York Liberty. I really don't want to because I'm actually a big hater of the New York Liberty. Yes, I'm still bitter off Minnesota's loss. And if you really think about it, Kathy Engelbert was wrong as hell because how you gonna show up in the New York City skyline dress and I'm not supposed to believe it was rigged? I'm supposed to sit here and pretend like I didn't see that? You came intentionally dressed to the game with that dress on. You're wrong. And you know that. You're wrong. But that's neither here nor there. I don't even like the New York Liberty like that. And people be eating me up on TikTok Live like, oh, you're just bitter. Like, oh, the New York Liberty, like they gonna repeat. They're not repeating. I have to tell you the truth. They're not repeating. Firstly, sorry to be the one to tell you. The only reason they're number one on this list is off of principle alone. Not because I think that they are going to be truly the best team this season. It's only because I have to stand on principle and they won the championship last year. And so I have to somewhat respect that, even though I don't, because of Kathy Engelbert in that damn dress. Know that. The respect is not earned. The respect was thrown in my face. That's it. So they're taking the number one spot. I do think that if Benajelani Hamilton, because we don't really know what that injury is, or maybe people do know, I don't know personally, but I don't know how bad her injury is. And I think that she's a very big part of them winning. And if she's not, back, or if she's still hurt, I do think that hurts them, especially because they don't have a Kayla Thornton on the team anymore. Like, she's with the Valkyrie now, so I'm interested to see what that looks like. Obviously, they still have Phoebish on the team, and she's a great shooter. Was last season. We have no reason to believe that will be any different. I do think, though, that I'm interested to see what the team looks like. I think that Jonquel is going to do what she does. However, I do think that Sabrina is kind of going to be more of a question mark to me because we have seen her kind of pushed into that role of being a point guard. But also, what happens when that shot isn't falling? What I think that Sabrina really kind of has to take a bigger leap this year. Like, I think she still has things to prove. And I think that not having Courtney Vandersloot there and not having like a true point guard it could be, I'm not going to say it could hurt them because Courtney wasn't really playing well with the Liberty to me. I think that she's really like found her footing again, like offensively and Unrivaled. But when it came to the finals, when the Liberty played against the Aces and then when they played against the Lynx, we didn't really see too much of Courtney Vandersloot's like offensive game. Like we really didn't even see her play that much. So to me, she didn't really fit in with the Liberty. And so I'm happy that she's gone to the Sky. But also I'm kind of like, what are the implications of that? Is Sabrina ready to take on that point guard role and kind of take a step back from shooting? Or is she going to be able to like have that consistent, efficient shot? Because to me, that's where she kind of wavered. Like she had a really great season last year, but then towards the end there, the efficiency was kind of off. So now I kind of need to see that consistency from her. Like, can she give you like, consistent like 20 plus points a game? Are we still going to be relying on Stewie and JJ to do X, Y, Z? And also when we're having that conversation, is JJ going to, really show up? Because last year, yes, in the finals, in the playoffs and stuff, she really showed up. But like during the season, there would be almost when she'd be in foul trouble. She's struggling like offensively and things like that. She's struggling on the boards, and that's what they need her for. So I'm interested to see that. Yes, the Liberty have question marks to me, but I have to respect that they won the championship last year. Boring, yawn. Next up, we have the Minnesota Lynx. I think they're going to do something big this year. Obviously, they have Kayla McBride and they have Nafisa Collier, and I think both of them have really like shown the elevation to their game in Unrivaled, and I think it's going to be a really great season for Kayla. Obviously, Courtney Williams is coming back as well. We have Natisha Heidemann coming back. I would really like to see Natisha, really not be so afraid of scoring the ball. Also, I do recognize that Minnesota has like a system that's kind of really built off Nafisa and defense and making good basketball decisions, passing the ball and things like that. And I do think that they have the best chance of winning a chip. I think Dorka Juhas is going to come along really well this season. Obviously, if we can get Diamond Miller and Alyssa Peely in the conversation, it's going to be really great. And then, I think Alana Smith does well. I think obviously we have the addition from the French team. I low-key forgot her name, but she's going to be there. I know her name, but I can't remember it. I'm going to put it on the screen for the video watchers. But I think we have really a really good chance of getting back to the finals this year. And I'm pleased with what the team looks like. I do think that Bridget Carlton is kind of going to have to really be more, not hesitate so much with her shot. Like I think the key to the Lynx being really great comes with, that trust and that confidence that she has in her shot. And obviously, Nafisa's going to do what she does. Kayla's going to do what she does. Courtney's going to do what she does. Alana Smith is going to do what she does. But I think it really does come down to how the bench is going to be used, one, whether or not they're going to be used. But also, I think it's going to come down to Bridget Carlton having confidence in her shot. Bridget's going to have to give us something a little bit more offensively this season in order for them to win that chip, because honestly, during the finals, like as bitter as I am, yes, about us losing, like they didn't really have anybody to go to off the bench. Like there weren't many people who it was like you can definitely put your trust in your faith in them to go out there and execute and like help win a championship game, like a game 7. And I think that's tough. So I'm hoping that hopefully most of the team is able to make that leap and we're able to get some contribution off the bench. And I think that's going to make us a scrappy team. Okay, so I'm putting Lynx at 2. And I just think, Bridget's going to have to be there. The bench is going to have to be used. We're hoping that Dorka Juhas is going to be like a pivotal piece there. And we're crossing our fingers. Okay, we're crossing our fingers. I think Lynx at 2. At the 3rd spot, I have the Fever. I really do think that Indiana is going to be a very scary team this year. I was on TikTok Live the other day and we were kind of talking about it. Nobody can deny Caitlin Clark's abilities. Like truly, she's an amazing passer. Yes, great shooter. And I think that this team has really gone above and beyond when it comes to making moves in the offseason. And they're definitely going to be championship contenders. Honestly, if it ended up being like Lynx Fever Liberty or like Lynx Liberty Fever, I wouldn't be surprised. The Fever are definitely going to be like up high in the seedings this season. Obviously, I think the addition of Sophie Cunningham, despite I know that people don't really like her for personal matters and stuff like that, but I think having her come in and her knowing her role, Sophie is an amazing 3-and-D player. Like, people like Lexi Hull because she's a defender, like, down. Like, she's going to go out there and give you 110% every single night. Is she going to hit her shots from 3? That's more of a debatable thing. Whereas Sophie Cunningham is definitely going to hit the shots. Like, she's going to do whatever she needs to do. She's going to play her role. She's going to make the right pass. And I think that is absolutely perfect for what Caitlin needs next to her. Obviously, they still have Kelsey Mitchell. And Lexi Hull and Sophie, they're kind of like similar players. Like, they're almost carbon copies, but I do think that Sophie has that edge on Lexi of like being more of a like dependable, reliable offensive threat. And for me, I think that she's a better defender also, because you can arguably say that Sophie can defend the 1 through 5. And she has a really great game. Again, she's just a great basketball player. And I think having that next to Kelsey Mitchell, next to Caitlin, is going to be big. Obviously, I've said before, I think Aaliyah Boston has to take that leap this year. She has to be able to defend well. She has to be able to give you some offense. She has to be able to knock down shots and have confidence in her shot. And again, that's more of a thing that we haven't seen yet. Obviously, Natasha Howard. We have DeWanna Bonner. Like, there are some great vets on this team. There are some great guards. I think the Fever are definitely going to be a team to beat this year. Obviously, they're like the biggest team that's made the biggest moves this offseason. So, and it was definitely to contend for a championship. So the Fever are definitely going to be top 3, top 4 at minimum. And honestly, I think like something really bad would have to happen for the Fever to not be like a top 3, top 4 team this season. Next up, I have the Aces at 4. And I think this is kind of, again, where that flip-floppiness is. I think the 3 through 5 spots are going to be a little interchangeable, because the Aces still have Asia Wilson, right? Who's like the best women's player on the earth right now. And there's not really anybody close to rivaling that. And you absolutely have to respect that. You have to respect Asia Wilson. You have to respect Jackie Young, who is obviously a silent assassin, but is playing very well in Unrivaled. She's putting up numbers. Like, she's a great defender. You still have Chelsea Gray, who's showing her offensive side, especially in Unrivaled. And it's a side of her that we didn't really see last season, but we've seen previously. She's put a lot of more trust in herself and in that foot. And so they're a threat, those 3 alone. And I was actually talking to Justice, who I do the TikTok lives with. I was kind of like, do you think that the Aces are like a scary team the same way that like the Fever are a scary team, right? Because even just like thinking about, without seeing them play, that the Fever are going to do something big this season. And like with the Aces, obviously, that like they're going to do something, but like, is it in the same way? Like last season, people didn't want to play a preseason game against the Aces. There was nobody in the league who would play a preseason game versus the Aces because they had just played, like they had just gone back-to-back championships. So now it's like, is that same level of fear present, right, without Kelsey? And so it's kind of like the conversation that people have of like, if you could have Kelsey Plum or Jewel, who would you choose? And a lot of people say, well, I'd choose Jewel. And that's understandable. At the same time, like we have, like to me personally, I think Kelsey Plum is like a bigger threat than people are kind of willing to admit. I think that she's going to definitely prove that this season, yes. But also like with the Aces, it was because of the 4 of them that team was scary. Without one, I don't know if you have back-to-back championship, like genuinely, because when Chelsea wasn't there, it felt like the wheels were falling off. And obviously she's has mastered the role of a point guard and also can give you offense. But it's kind of like in the same way now people are like, I will play the Aces. Like I'll play them in preseason because that threat of a big 4 of like that core 4 isn't there in that same way because we haven't seen Jewel play with the Aces. We don't know how that's going to look yet. So to me, as of right now, I don't think that the aces are as scary as they have been in the past without Kelsey, but I think that Kelsey was a bigger piece to that than like people are willing to admit, because she didn't have like a great season last year, or like she didn't have a crazy season for the past 2 seasons. I think people have kind of like that recency bias of like kind of forgetting that Kelsey is a dog and was a big reason why, they went back to back. Obviously, age is a big part of that, but also like all 4 of them played a very specific role. So it's going to be interesting to see how Jewel adjusts to that, especially because in Unrivaled, I haven't really been super impressed with like her offensive like game. Obviously, like I said, they still have Asia, they still have Jackie, they still have Chelsea, but it's kind of like, is Jewel going to be able to fill that patch and that hole that Kelsey's leaving? And because we don't know that yet, it's tough to say, but that's like the biggest question mark to me. Obviously, they've made some good pickups like Cheyenne Parker Tyus. They're going to have Dana Evans and stuff like that. It's still coming down to, are the aces going to use their bench, or are they going to only be relying on, their big 4, whatever, their core 4? There's just a lot of question marks a little bit for me right now. And I'm still an Aces fan. I'm never going to do too much. I'm an Asia Wilson fan, first and foremost. I'm a Kelsey Plum fan, first and foremost, all of these things. But right now, the Aces have like a few more question marks to me than the Liberty, than the Lynx, and the Fever. For the Storm, I have them at 5. Again, I do think that that's going to be interchangeable between the 3 and the 4. Like, I know that the Storm are going to be better than like maybe the 6 down, but like I don't know where they're really going to rank like upper tier. I think they're obviously going to have really great defense, but I do think that Jordan Horston's leap was going to be a really big part of the Storm being great. Obviously, Skylar Diggins-Smith is having a great time in Unrivaled, and you can never count her out. I think the Storm's defense is going to be really good because it was last season, and they kind of still have like the same people who are going to be going hard and setting that mentality up for playing good defense and, moving the ball and making the right basketball decisions. Obviously, NECA is going to be playing well. I think Gabby Williams is going to be a really big part of what they do this season. Obviously, I think last season it was kind of tough to come in and, not want to be too offensive minded, but also, trying to make sure you're playing good on defense. She's going to play great defense all the time. So I think it's really just going to depend on what her role is offensively and where she fits in there. Obviously, they have Katie Lou Samuelson they picked up and some other people that I don't recall, but I think the Storm are going to be definitely in that top 5, 6, like in the mix there. The Storm also picked up Lexi Brown, so I think that's going to be a really interesting like conversation in that realm. So I'm excited to see that and see how it goes. Next up, we have the Sparks. I have them at 6. I think this is a comfortable position. I really enjoyed watching the Sparks last year, and I think they've made a really big move to kind of put them in like a more serious playoff contention role. Dearica Hamby obviously had a really great season last year and has just been like doing well everywhere she goes. Kelsey being a part of that and having played with her previously with the Aces, I think is going to be really great. And obviously, having a Rakia Jackson and a Cameron Brink and a Ray Burrell and an Azurá Stevens, like, I think they have a lot of good pieces here. It's going to be just about like how they play. Last year, the Sparks were kind of a tough watch, but super gritty team. And so I think it's really just going to be about how they play and what they want to do. I think they have some really great players on the team, and I'm excited to see what they do. But yeah, I'm excited for the Sparks this year, and I definitely think they're going to be in the 6 or 7, 8 realm. But I definitely think they can hang with some of the top teams that I listed previously. 7, we have the Wings. I think with Paige and Enrique, that's going to be a really big deal. But also, having Dejanay, having Nalissa, picking up Maisha Hines-Allen and having some other pieces there. I think the Wings are going to definitely be in the playoffs. I don't really know what I think their ceiling is, but it will be Paige's first year. And their defense is going to be really great. I think it's going to be about the offense. Like, where is the offense coming from? Like, figuring out like what works best. Like, Is Paige gonna be off ball? Is Enrique gonna be what's the vibe gonna be, you know? Because for so long it's been the Wings have depended on Enrique to be this really phenomenal player, but it has to put up like really high like volume shots, right? She's a volume shooter. So I think with Paige it's gonna be a little bit more efficient, and at least that's the hope. Who else is gonna carry the offense as well? So I'm interested to see it. Like I said, another defense is gonna be good, but it's gonna be more so about like what is each player doing? What's their role? You know, you have Maddie Siegrist, who's been amazing in Athletes Unlimited and had a really good stint last year. And then when Satu came back, didn't really get much playing time. And also she had an injury. So and then, you know, you have Tierra McCowan. So it's really going to be interesting. I'm excited to see it. And I really did enjoy watching the Wings, even though they didn't really have a great season last year. But I'm excited to see it. At number 8, I have the Mercury. Again, this is kind of just coming down to, I don't really know what this team's going to look like. Last year's version of this team wasn't that great. It depends on how the coach is going to play. Like, what's the play style? Because if it's going to be shooting threes, I said this before, if it's going to be shooting threes, they won't be winning anything. And honestly, I don't even really see them as a playoff team in my mind. Like maybe they'll like surprise me, but I'm not shaken by this team. Again, you know, Satu is a question mark for me. Kalia Copper is a question mark. Obviously great players, but we haven't really seen them play to their best in a while. So I think that kind of leads me to believing they're going to be a little bit in the lower end of the seedings for playoffs. Obviously, you have Alyssa Thomas, who's a great player, great facilitator, but isn't necessarily going to give you offense every night. Like, she's going to give you more rebounds, more assists, and most of the time points that she's getting. So it's going to be interesting. I'm trying to think of who else is on the team for real. You know, you're going to have Ty Harris. I just don't think that this team is really moving me. You're going to have Kalani Brown, but I'm not really like impressed with this roster as of right now. So I guess we'll see what happens. At number 9, I have the Dream. I know what you're thinking. They have so much talent. I think every roster has a lot of talent, but I'm still kind of a question mark for the Dream because while I think that they made some really great moves with getting BG and Bree Jones, I'm kind of still questioning some things just because I don't really know what the play style is going to be. If it's going to be like it was last year, which I'm hoping it's not. You know, they have a new coach, but what I'm hearing about the coach is that he had his team shooting a lot, which is great for the guards like Ryan and Alicia, but it's also like you guys don't have to shoot that much, you know? And I felt like last year they had moments of being inefficient or just like putting up a lot of shots and being inefficient. So I'm kind of interested to see what that's going to look like. Obviously, you have Jordan Canada, who's always going to make like the right pass, but it's also going to be like, are the guards going to give the ball up to bigs? And I don't really know that yet. Like, I don't know for sure what that looks like. So that's a question mark for me. And then the Dream Team is kind of like relatively like the same team that we had last season outside of getting a different center. So I don't really know my thoughts. Like I think that they could be good, but I don't know if like I believe that they're going to be better than the other teams that I named already. Now, they could sit here, shock me and surprise me. I do think that there's a better team here than there was last season, but there weren't like these crazy moves made. So I'm going to have to see what the play style is. I'm going to have to see what the coaching's like. I'm going to have to see what the consistency of the games are because as of right now, like in Unrivaled, like Alicia and Ryan both play great defense, but like there are moments when their shot isn't falling. So it's going to kind of be like, what are you guys going to do when that shot isn't falling? Are you going to keep forcing it or are you going to give the ball up? Like it's just stuff like that. So I think it's going to be more so about like how the players play together. That's going to kind of determine that. And maybe I'll change my mind by the time I see some of the games. But as of right now, I have the Dream at 9. Not overly impressed, but not like, I don't think that they're not going to be making the playoffs. Next up, we have the Chicago Sky at 10. I think that maybe the Sky might be a little bit better than like I'm envisioning in my mind. I think they could be better than the Mercury. They could be better than the Dream. So maybe like the Sky take that 8th spot and the rest shift down. But I do think that Courtney Vandersloot was a very good pickup. She's doing really great offensively right now, like I mentioned before in Unrivaled. And I think just her being able to make the passes that Angel and Camilla need in order to be successful bigs in this league is going to be really great for them. You know, they're getting Kia Nurse, who's been playing very well in Athletes Unlimited. They have just picked up some good players. So I'm interested to see what it looks like. And I forgot to mention for the Liberty, they picked up Isabel Harrison. So again, I guess for the Liberty also, we kind of need to see if they're going to be playing people on their bench. But for the Sky, I do have them at 10. Again, I'm not overly impressed with them. I low-key even forgot who else is on the roster. Oh, yeah, Ariel Atkins. So maybe they'll be a little bit better than, like, I'm assuming. But as of right now, I have them at 10. Again, I'm not overly impressed because it is, like, outside of... Like, if Kia is having, like, a good shooting night, if the coach is kind of like, you know, drawing stuff up of her, I think it's going to be good. But I don't know. I'm just kind of questioning, like, outside of Angel and Camilla, what's the vibe? Like, how are they going to be playing the guards? Like, I just have a lot of question marks a little bit about that one. But I think the Sky are going to be, they're going to be competitive this year. I just don't know, like, where I think they would go. But I guess we're going to wait and see. But as of right now, I'm not really, they're not really moving me. They're not giving me championship, but like they're moving me a little for playoffs, but like they're not moving me for like anything crazy. Anyways, at number 11, we have the Mystics. You know, they have Aaliyah Edwards. She looks great. They have Shakira Austin. She looks great. The Mystics don't really have anything that's like crazy. They're going to be a very young team. They have a lot of picks in the draft this year, so they're not going to be doing anything crazy. It's really just going to come down to, you know, they're just going to have to develop. That's really what this is coming down to. The Mystics aren't going to be like this crazy team that's going to be winning tons of games. Maybe they are. Maybe they'll prove me wrong, but as of right now, I'm not moved by this roster at all, actually. So fingers crossed for the Mystics. Maybe they'll do something crazy, and I'll be shook, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, I was so wrong about it. But they're gonna be a young team, so I don't think they're gonna really do much. At number 12, we have the Valkyries. I don't really think that they're gonna be doing anything crazy. I do love that they got a lot of people from overseas. I love that, but I don't think they're gonna be doing anything insane. You know, I want to believe I'm going to be supporting them big because I'm a big Golden State fan. Outside of that, though, their roster isn't really anything crazy. So unless, like, I'm just wrong and know nothing at all, I don't think they're going to be very good this season. And that's okay because they're just a little, you know, a starter season. And they got some of their players from other teams. And they weren't necessarily, like, teams that, you know, players that teams are like, we're going to be building around them. Like, so... You know, it's going to be interesting. I'm going to be supporting them, of course, but I don't think they're going to do anything crazy. Lastly, we have the Sun. I have zero hope for them, okay? They have Tina Charles. She's great. She's good. They have Marina. They have Natasha Cloud. They have my sister, my good sister, who was, she was thrown to the wolves so bad. JC Sheldon. Outside of that, I don't really even know who's over there for real. But I know they don't have any heavy hitters for real. They're in a rebuild. That team, it's gonna be a struggle watch. But I'm gonna do it for JC. I'm gonna do it for my good sister JC Sheldon. I will. Anyways, but those are just my little WNBA seedings for maybe the playoffs, maybe for most of the season. I guess we're going to see what happens, but that's what the vibe is. Now we're going to get into Unrivaled. For me personally, I feel like Unrivaled has gone on like a week or two a little too long. Like I feel like at least for this first season, we kind of knew who was winning what. Like it wasn't close, really. Like it was close for like the vinyl and the miss, but like as for everyone else, it was like a pretty like standard. We knew what was going on for some time now, actually. And I'm going to be talking trash about the miss later, so stick around for that if you're interested. First game up that Friday We had Laces versus Phantom. Obviously, the Laces cooked the Phantom 73-59. Okay. Both teams were settling for a lot of threes in the first quarter, which I thought was really tragic because, 3-on-3, I feel like it's mostly about spacing and ball movement and all of these things and getting to the rim because you can, because there's enough space to do that. And they just were not. I was disappointed in that a bit. Anyways, for the Phantom, Satu was out of the starting lineup. They put Marina in. She looked a little bit better coming off the bench to me. But the Phantom's defensive switches looked a little bit rough until they put Satu, Marina, and Natasha Cloud into the lineup late in like the second quarter, I think. But outside of that, like the Phantom just kind of looked how they've looked all season. Just not that impressive. Just needing a little bit more from everyone. And, that's how they kind of ended this game. Brittany Griner gave you 13 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, was 5 of 7 from the field, very efficient. Katie Lou Samuelson gave you 10 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, was 5 of 7 from the field. Again, another efficient. I hope they had the same stats. If not, girl, I made a mistake when I was looking at the stats. My bad. Well, my bad on that. Anyways, Marina gave you 9 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, was 4 of 13 from the field, 1 of 6 from 3. She was one of the main people kind of settling for those shots at the beginning, but also you do just need more from Marina, but also this is only her second game playing, so you can't even really be mad at her for real. Next, we have Natasha Cloud, who gave you 13 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. She was 5 of 11 from the field, 2 of 6 from 3. Fairly efficient. I'm not mad at it. If they did want to win this game, though, Satu was going to have to give you more than 9 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 steal. And she was 3 of 8 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3. Again, another reason why I'm not sold on the Mercury. Like, I'm not sold on whatever's happening there. Like, I hope that I'm wrong, but it's not looking that great right now. She was 3 of 8 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3. Just not super impressed right now. I think she's a good defender, but offensively, she kind of needs like somebody to kind of, help her there. I don't know if her shot creation is that great, so maybe AT is going to be able to do some things with her there, but I don't know. For Natisha Heidemann, she gave you 5 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, was 2 of 7 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3. For the Laces, there was still no Kate Martin, but Kayla McBride gave you 25 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 block, 9 of 19 from the field, 5 of 13 from 3. That's really great. Tiffany Hayes gave you 10 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, was 4 of 14 from the field, and 1 of 9 from 3. I think Lisa Leslie has been saying that, her concussion has kind of, caused her shot to be off. So I think, if Tiffany's playing well during the playoffs, I think the Laces are going to be a pretty scary team, honestly. Alyssa Thomas gave you 4 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, and was 2 of 6 from the field. She had a pretty good game. I like that. 12 rebounds. She's doing really great on the boards, passing the ball well. Jackie Young gave you 18 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and was 8 of 15 from the field, 2 of 6 from 3. Pretty good showing for Jackie. For Steph Dolson, she gave you 16 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, was 6 of 6 from the field, 2 of 2 from 3. She had an amazing night. Perfect night, honestly. And honestly, while I was watching the game, I really enjoyed the connection between Steph Dolson and Kayla McBride. I felt like they played really well together, and I enjoyed that. Next game we had was Owls versus Rose. The Owls beat the Rose 66-56. This was a very chippy game. Angel and Fee were just going back and forth. For the Owls, Nafisa was off to a rough start in the first quarter, but Courtney Williams shot well that night to give the Owls the boost they needed to win. Nafisa Collier gave you 16 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals, and 1 block, was 7 of 16 from the field, 0 of 3 from the field. And you know what's so crazy? I was seeing a lot of the conversation surrounding Angel and Nafisa, and it was like a lot. I'm not even gonna lie, y'all kind of be doing too much on social media sometimes. I think you guys kind of just need to they're just out there to play the game. Things get a little chippy between the lines sometimes, and that's just it. And I think it's gonna make for a really good matchup for the WNBA season, but I don't see it as anything beyond that. Like, Angel was literally working out with Fee at the beginning of Unrivaled. So I'm like, you want it to be chippy. Like, you want them to be going hard and to give that level of aggression. And so I think it's going to be a really interesting season. As of right now, I do still think that Nafisa kind of has an edge over Angel just because of, the experience and everything like that. And Angel's on her way, though. She plays very well. For Skylar, she gave you 12 points, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 3 blocks, was 5 of 12 from the field, 0 of 4 from 3. Honestly, pretty decent. I really do like the stat line, though. You can tell she was playing really great defense from this. I don't remember this game. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't remember this game much at all. Alicia Gray gave you 9 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. She was 4 of 11 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3. But yeah, this is kind of what I mean when I talk about that level of consistency and efficiency. Like, in order to win, you have to be efficient. You have to be consistent. And sometimes, like, we don't always get, like, as much as we need from Alicia all the time. So I'm interested to see how that translates for the WNBA and whether or not, that shooting and whether or not, like, her shooting can become a little bit more consistent. For Shakira Austin, she gave you 17 points, 6 rebounds, 1 block, and was 8 of 10 from the field, 1 of 4 from the free throw line. I felt like she had a really good game, honestly. She was on the boards. She gave you some offense. I like it. She was pretty efficient from the field, 8 of 10. I like that. For Courtney Williams, she gave you 12 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 1 steal, and was 6 of 10 from the field. She had a really great game. I'm happy for her because they really needed that. She really needed that. She hasn't really been having, like, crazy games in Unrivaled, so I think this is, like, a really good, like, jumping off point. Hopefully she can help them carry that through the playoffs. For the Rose, I felt like they did a great job keeping Nafisa off the boards. They're doing a great job getting out in transition as well. If anything, I think that the turnovers were kind of the biggest reason for them not winning this game. But again, I think that they were really out there, like, putting everything on the line. Brittany Sykes gave you 17 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. She was 7 of 16 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3. Angel gave you 17 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, and was 8 of 16 from the field. Very efficient night, and that's a really great stat line. Chelsea gave you 10 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, was 4 of 14 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3. I really think that Chelsea is going to be the factor in whether or not the Owls are able to beat the Rose when it comes to the playoffs or even, like, the vinyl. I think if you're able to stop Chelsea from having a good game, that's going to determine everything. If Ka's not back playing, I don't know. I'm interested to see what this looks like. We are going to talk a little bit about how the playoffs are going to go or what my predictions for the playoffs are going to be and how to stop each team because I'm rooting for the Owls. So I'm going to kind of talk about that a little bit later. For Azurá Stevens, she gave you 8 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal. She was 4 of 8 from the field, 0 of 3 from 3. And Lexi gave you 4 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist. I really just think that she's gonna have to give you more if you guys want to win, like, a championship. Like, truly. I think that the Rose are definitely a team to beat when it comes to, like, these playoffs because they've been playing really well as of late, but you're just going to need more from Lexi, and you really need Chelsea to have a good night. Next, we have the Laces versus Miss. The Laces beat the Miss 76-69. This was a really great game for Dijonay. For the Laces, Jackie had an amazing performance. She was getting to the rim and hitting threes, and she was also facilitating very well. Jackie gave you 27 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, was 10 of 17 from the field, 5 of 8 from 3, and 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Jackie's amazing. Like, honestly, Jackie is nothing short of an amazing and exciting basketball player. Every single time that she hits the floor, she's amazing. Kayla McBride gave you 17 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, and was 6 of 14 from the field, 3 of 8 from 3. I think you do want more from Kayla than 17 points and, like, that level of efficiency from the field, but having Tiffany Hayes give you 16 points, having Jackie put on a great performance with 27 points, having Steph Dolson give you 12 points, amazing. It doesn't even matter that Kayla didn't have, like, a crazy shooting night because, she had Tiffany Hayes and she had Jackie. Tiffany Hayes gave you 16 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and was 8 of 20 from the field, 0 of 5 from 3. Again, her shot isn't really there. I kind of wish that she would not, like, force it, though. I kind of wish that, she would think about passing it or maybe giving the ball up. Or maybe just trying to get to the rim a little bit more. I think that would be helpful, but I can understand like the concussion protocols and everything. So I'm going to not do too much on Tiffany Hayes. For Alyssa Thomas, she gave you 4 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, 2 of 8 from the field, 0 of 3 from the free throw line. And to me, like there were some of these shots were like really pivotal shots for her. Like I think some of these came down to like being game changing or like game tying like free throws. So it was kind of a big deal that she missed those, and she doesn't typically miss free throws like that. So that was kind of out of character as well. Steph Dolson gave you 12 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal, and she was 5 of 9 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3. Another great night. Good performance from Steph. For the Mist, I am a hater of this team, but I did find myself rooting for them towards the end of the game because you guys know I love an underdog, and the Laces were honestly like taking the game for the most part, but the Mist were really trying to stay with them and, keep something going. Stewie gave you 24 points, 13 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 blocks. She was 9 of 28 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3, 2 of 3 from the free throw line. Rakia Jackson gave you 10 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and was 4 of 12 from the field. I do think you need a little bit more from Rakia, but again, like this is her like rookie off season, so I'm not like too pressed about that. I think, obviously she was on the boards and stuff and she was, contributing. So it's not that big of a deal. Jewel Lloyd gave you 8 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. She was 3 of 9 from the field. Again, another performance where I'm kind of like, it makes me question what we could be seeing in the future. I don't know. Maybe she's not going that hard. I don't know. But she was 3 of 9 from the field. Not like amazing efficiency. But I do think that like had she maybe given you some more points, or had Rakia given you a few more points, maybe they could have won this game. For Dejanay Carrington, she gave you 13 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals, was 5 of 9 from the field. Dejanay Carrington honestly has me excited for the Wings. Like, she's really coming together. She's getting to the rim. She's playing great defense. I'm excited to see her play with the Wings. Like, I think this is going to be a really great move for her. And she's looking really great and Unrivaled, so I have no reason to think that she'll be anything short of great and a contributing piece to what the Wings do this season. Courtney Vandersloot gave you 10 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, and was 5 of 6 from the field. She was locked in. Aaliyah Edwards gave you 4 points, 1 steal, and was 2 of 3 from the field. Next game we have is Vinyl versus Phantom, and the Phantom beat the Vinyl 80-74. This was actually a really big game because I think the Vinyl low-key needed this game to really like have like a firm playoff spot. But the Phantom really came out there swinging for their last game. Like, he was working very hard. This game kind of dragged on a little bit, but Ryan had a good game for the Vinyl. Marina had a really great game for the Phantom. At the end of the day, the Phantom just, I guess, really wanted it more for their final game to win something. So, and they did a really great job doing that. For the Vinyl, Ryan Howard gave you 37 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, and was 12 of 24 from the field, 9 of 17 from 3, and 2 of 3 from the free throw line. Again, like I said, amazing performance. It just was not enough because I don't think anybody else besides Ray Burrell gave you double digits. Like, she really needed her team, and she carried them to the point that they got, but the rest of the Phantom were just like, they were really on it. Like, they were just clicking. So many people, like at least 4 players on the team had double figures that game. And that's tough to beat when, your other teammates just usually give you more points, but I think the Phantom just really wanted it. De'Erica had 9 points, 10 rebounds, 1 block, was 4 of 11 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3, and 0 of 2 from the free throw line, which low-key makes sense because you have BG guarding you for the most part. So I can understand that. She's real. Jordan Canada gave you 7 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and was 3 of 5 from the field. Ray Burrell gave you 14 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal, and she was 4 of 13 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3, 2 of 3 from the free throw line. Ray has honestly been playing really well, and that's why, again, I'm excited to see her play with the Sparks. I think they're going to do something really cool with the young team that they have, and then they have the seasoned vets, so I'm excited to see it. Aaliyah Boston gave you 5 points and 5 rebounds, was 2 of 2 from the field, 1 of 3. Aaliyah Boston gave you 5 points, 5 rebounds, and was 2 of 2 from the field, 1 of 1 from the 3-point line. Arike gave you 2 points, 1 assist, was 1 of 6 from the field, 0 of 2 from 3. I don't really know what's been going on with Arike. I am a little concerned, but I'm hoping that maybe, she had been out on injury, so maybe this is like a fluke type of thing. But like, it does worry me that she hasn't really been able to find her groove with the team. I think she maybe had like one or two really great games for the vinyl, but I don't know what's going on there. I'm hoping everything's fine. It's nothing too serious. For the Phantom, Natasha Cloud gave you 14 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 block, was 5 of 9 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3. That's probably one of her best performances so far with this league. Next, we have Satu, who gave you 12 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 block. She was 4 of 15 from the field, 1 of 6 from 3, 2 of 3 from the field. I'm not going to say it. Y'all already know what I'm thinking. Katie Lou gave you 8 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 blocks, was 4 of 8 from the field. I love that efficiency from her. Marina gave you 26 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, was 8 of 13 from the field, 6 of 9 from 3, 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Again, I think it's really tough to beat her, and so that's why I'm interested to see her play for the Sun, because there's not really anybody else on that team who's kind of, has that ability and like has that star power and has that efficiency. So I'm excited to see her play for the Sun. I know she doesn't want to, but I'm excited, and I think that she can really do something special. And maybe, they might not have the facilities, but hopefully maybe a team will want to, give her the opportunity to play and stuff once they see her shooting well and everything. So I guess we'll see what happens, but I was really impressed with this performance. BG gave you 18 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block, and was 7 of 8 from the field. Everybody was just shooting well for the most part, except for Satu and Natisha Heidemann. But Natisha gave you 2 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 block, and was 1 of 6 from the field, 0 of 3 from 3. Honestly, Natisha, she's there for vibes, honestly. So I'm fine with that performance. All right, next game we have is Owls versus Miss. The Owls beat the Miss 92-58. The Miss got a lot of steals, and they were really reading passes well in the first quarter, but both teams were kind of like smoking layups like throughout the game, and it was honestly shocking to witness, shocking to see, almost scary even. I felt like I was watching a horror movie, and like these were like point blank layups or like uncontested layups, like missing stuff, obviously missing contested layups as well, but just it was not looking great for them. For the Owls, Nafisa Collier gave you 29 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, and was 13 of 15 from the field, 0 of 2 from 3, but 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Honestly, Nafisa's best game in a while. I think if she can really like continue to play to that level, it's going to be an easy win for the Owls. Alicia Gray gave you 18 points, 8 rebounds, and 1 assist, and was 7 of 13 from the field, 1 of 1 from 3. A good night. Fairly efficient. I'm not mad at it. Skylar Diggins-Smith gave you 17 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists, and 1 block, and was 8 of 15 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3. Shakira Austin gave you 16 points, 10 rebounds, 2 blocks, with 5 of 10 from the field, and 4 of 5 from the free throw line. Courtney Williams gave you 12 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, and was 5 of 8 from the field. Everybody played well, and everybody had double figures. This is what I'm talking about when I talk about like the Owls having everything figured out, good ball movement. Yes, smoking layups and stuff, but making good decisions and good reads and playing basketball the right way to lead to wins like that. For the Miss, they were not able to clinch a playoff spot because they lost this game and the Vinyl lost the next game. So the Vinyl are going to the playoffs. Rakia gave you 22 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, was 10 of 19 from the field, 2 of 6 from 3. Honestly, one of her best performances in a while, so really happy for her with that one. Stewie gave you 15 points, 10 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 steals, and was 6 of 12 from the field. Honestly, I'll take it. That's a good stat. It's a good stat line. Joel Lloyd played 6 minutes, 0 points, 1 block, 0 of 2 from the field. Dejanay Carrington gave you 11 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, and 4 steals, and was 4 of 10 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3. Courtney Vandersloot gave you 6 points, 4 assists, 1 block, was 2 of 10 from the field, 0 of 2 from 3. Not her best performance, but, she's still Courtney Vandersloot, so it doesn't really matter, low-key. For Aaliyah Edwards, she gave you 4 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block, 2 of 10 from the field. I think it was just a really rough night for them. I think they really wanted that playoff spot maybe at the beginning, and they just kind of weren't able to get the job done, but that's what the vibe is with that team. No more mist for now. Lastly, we had Vinyl versus Rose. The Rose beat the Vinyl 74-46. Full transparency, I didn't watch this game. I'm going to still give you the stats, though, okay? There was no Enrique for the Vinyl, but the Vinyl lost this game real bad. I don't really know if I have any faith in them for the playoffs, for real. Like, they're kind of done. I think we know. Unless they just come out high and swing in and we don't know, I don't believe in it. For Hamby, she gave you 12 points, 13 rebounds, 2 assists, was 5 of 13 from the field. Jordan Canada gave you 10 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, was 4 of 8 from the field. Ryan Howard gave you 8 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 blocks, 2 of 20 from the field, 0 of 8 from 3. But this is what I be talking about. Ryan Howard had a really great game. That last one, 37 points. This game, 8 points, 2 of 20 from the field, 0 of 8 from 3. It just coming down to consistency. It's coming down to, should I even shoot that? I don't know. But she's the hot hand that they have to ride. Aaliyah Boston gave you 12 points, 6 rebounds, was 6 of 10 from the field. Honestly, I like that. That's good. That's good for Aaliyah. Ray Burrell gave you 4 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist, was 1 of 6 from the field, 0 of 2 from 3. Tough night for a lot of people on that team. And the score tells you that. Tells you everything you need to know there. For the Rose, Chelsea Gray back on top with 33 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, was 12 of 24 from the field, 8 of 13 from 3. I like that much better than that last game. Brittany Sykes gave you 18 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, was 8 of 17 from the field. I think the Rose can be scary if the both of them are kind of giving you that kind of performance. Angel gave you 10 points, 13 rebounds, 1 block, and was 5 of 13 from the field. Azare gave you 8 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, 1 block, and was 3 of 7 from the field. Lexi gave you 5 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, and was 2 of 6 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3. Again, the Rose, it's just going to come down to how good Chelsea is playing. And that leads me into our final topic of the episode, which are the unrivaled playoff thoughts that I have. I'm a little bit nervous for the Lunar Owls. Obviously, I'm rooting for them to win it all. But, like when your team does well, like all season, and it comes down to like playing well. And I think what gets me about this playoff is that, you only have one opportunity to play bad and you're cooked, like you're fried. And it makes me a little bit nervous because they've dominated all season, but that doesn't always necessarily mean that, they can't, like they could have a bad game. And that makes me nervous, but I'm going to keep rooting for them. And that's where I'm at right now. I'm feeling a little bit nervous, but I feel like the Lunar Owls are taking it. I feel they're going to handle business, but I am a little concerned. Outside of that, I think I mentioned it earlier this episode, but if I didn't, I think I'm just at a point where I kind of feel like the season went on like a week or two too long. Like we kind of knew who wasn't making the playoffs. Like it wasn't really close. Like the Owls were 13-1 and then the Rose are 8-6. And it took them like more than half the season to get like 8 wins. And then the Laces are 7-7, obviously because of injury and everything, but they're kind of working their way back to full health. And I think that the Laces are going to be scary. Then the Vinyl are 5-9. I think, obviously the biggest threat to the Owls are the Rose and Laces. I don't think that the Vinyl are really I think the Vinyl are a non-factor. But I am nervous. I think the Owls, I think they're going to do 1-4 and then 2 and 3 play each other. So I'm going to be interested to see that. It's really going to be again about whether or not whoever's playing the Rose can shut down Chelsea. And that's really what it comes down to. And then for the Laces, I think you kind of have to hope that Tiffany Hayes is still struggling a little bit with her efficiency from the field. But even then, you still have Kayla McBride and you still have Jackie to worry about. And Steph Dolson is good at stretching the floor. AT can facilitate. So it's really just going to be about the defense to me. I think it should end up being Owls versus Laces. That's what I'm thinking. But if it ends up being Owls versus Rose, it's really, again, it's going to be a toss-up. It's really just about Chelsea. And low-key, it is about maybe being able to keep Angel off the boards. But I do think if the Rose are going to win, Chelsea's going to have a great game, obviously. Brittany Side's going to have, like, give you double digits. Angel's going to have to give you double digits. And Lexi's going to have to play well. Like, she's going to have to play well. There's no ifs, and, or buts about it. And I think that they are, like, teams are going to target Lexi if she's on that floor. Like, they're going to make her shoot it if they can. So it's going to be interesting for the vinyl. Maybe they could be like a little dark horse, and maybe they have like a really good game against whoever they play, and they kind of upset, but I don't really know if I see that happening. But anyways, this was really great. I'm going to be back later on next week, and then I'm gonna be watching March Madness mostly, except for like some of those Monday games, and I guess we'll see what happens. But this has been really cool. If you want to follow me on social media, everything is linked down below in the description. Again, like, subscribe, share, get in the comments, share your opinions about things. I am sorry this episode is late. My USB thing just isn't, we're not cooking, so I don't even know how I'm going to be able to edit this tonight. So yeah, this was really nice, but I'll see you guys next week. And then, obviously we're gearing up and ramping up for the WNBA season. I'm going to have a lot of basketball to watch. So there will never be a dull moment. If you do want to know my end time thoughts on games and on things, obviously follow the Girls Like Hoops Twitter page, Hoops Like Girls. And again, that's linked in the link tree below as well. But yeah, I'll see you guys over somewhere else. Bye.